The fight for gender equality is not
Powered
just
by
a historical
Riverside
movement,
FM.
it's a living, evolving battle that continues to shape policies, rights, and identities in the modern world. In part one, we explored the long journey of women's rights from suffrage to workplace equality. But today, the conversation has expanded beyond traditional definitions, challenging society to rethink gender identity and legal recognitions. In this episode, we dive into one of the most controversial rulings in recent UK history, the 2025 Supreme Court decision that redefined women under the Equality Act 2010, the same act that once recognized transgender identities, now draws a legal distinction between biological sex and gender recognition. The ruling sparked intense debate, dividing policymakers, advocacy groups, and the public. For many, this decision was a reaffirmation of sex-based rights. For others, particularly within the transgender community, it represented a setback, leading to widespread protests across London, demanding greater inclusion and legal recognition. So, what does this ruling mean for women's spaces, equality laws, and the future of gender rights? And most importantly, can legal definitions keep up with the realities of identity in today's world? Let's explore the complexities, the arguments, and the path forward. Welcome to the podcast. What about me? I'm Linda, your host, and today I will explore gender identity, legal debates, and the future of women's spaces. In 2025, the UK Supreme Court issued a landmark ruling that sent shockwaves through gender rights discussions. The court ruled that sex in the Equality Act 2010 refers strictly to biological sex. The impact of this decision means that transgender women, those assigned male at birth, are not legally recognized as women under this act, even if they hold a gender recognition certificate. The context. The ruling was a response to a challenge by For Women Scotland, a group which argued that sex based protection should apply only to biological women. This ruling raises complex questions. Does defining sex strictly by biology protect women's rights, or does it limit inclusion for public spaces and services? Beyond legal definition, this ruling directly impacts real-world spaces, bathrooms, shelters, prisons, and healthcare services. Single-sex spaces, toilets, changing rooms, and women's shelters must now be restricted to biological women. In employment and services, employers and service providers must set clear policies on gendered spaces, sparking concerns about exclusion. The responses: some organizations have pledged to maintain inclusivity despite the ruling. What does this mean for women's safety? Can inclusivity and protections coexist? Few legal rulings divide public opinion like this one. Here is how different sides view the decision. Supporters say the ruling provides clarity, ensures sex-based rights remain protected, and prevents the erosion of legal safeguards for women. Critics argue it undermines transgender rights, making legal gender recognition ineffective and restricting access to spaces once deemed inclusive. And there is a political tension. This ruling has split political parties, with Labour struggling to navigate internal conflicts over gender policies. Where does the balance lie? Is prioritizing sex-based protections strengthen equality or excludes certain groups? The global perspectives on gender identity, how countries approach the issue of gender identity. around the world. While the UK ruling reshapes legal recognition, gender identity laws vary dramatically across the world. Countries such as Argentina allow gender self-identification without medical requirements. In Canada and Denmark, streamlined legal gender recognition with anti-discrimination protections. In New Zealand, they introduced gender-neutral passports and simplified recognition processes. But in countries such as the United Kingdom, the 2025 Supreme Court ruling limits legal recognition under sex-based protections. United States varies state by state. Some protect gender identity while others restrict healthcare access. Germany and France require medical assessments, complicating gender recognition. Countries with severe restrictions in the world include Hungary and Russia. They've banned legal gender recognition, preventing individuals from updating official documents. In the Middle Eastern nations, strict laws severely limit recognition and protections. For China, it requires psychiatric evaluation and surgery for gender recognition. Just a question to you, my viewers. Legal recognition is one thing, but does it guarantee social acceptance? It's always important to always remember that the trends and challenges are beyond laws. The fight for gender identity rights is shaped by politics, culture, and healthcare access. Legal versus social acceptance. Some nations have strong laws but deep cultural resistance. In healthcare access, gender affirming care is protected in some places but banned in others. Political influence, government shifts often impact gender policies, leading to legal uncertainty. For example, in the United States of America, under the Democratic Party, the USA was more liberal with their policies in regards to gender identity, while under the current Republican government with Donald J. Trump, they've restricted gender identity rights. Acceptance. The definition of womanhood is evolving. For example, laws, culture, and identity shape how society defines womanhood. 2. Inclusivity and protections must be balanced thoughtfully. The second point is the legal debates have real-world impact. The UK Supreme Court ruling 2025 redefined gender recognition laws. Different countries approach gender identity in vastly different ways. The paradox of progress in the topic include women have gained leadership, education, and activism opportunities. Yet issues like the gender pay gap, safety concerns, and healthcare access remain critical challenges. For intersectionality matters, rural versus urban women face different struggles. Laws may support equality, but cultural acceptance takes longer. My thoughts on the evolution of womanhood, the challenge of defining womanhood. As society evolves, so does our definition of womanhood. But the question remains, how do we balance tradition, legal framework, and inclusivity without compromising the rights of any group? This conversation isn't over, it's just beginning. That said, there is a call to action. History proves that the fight for equality is never truly finished. It's up to us, the policymakers, the activists, and every individual to ensure progress doesn't leave anybody behind. How will we shape the future of gender rights? We have to reflect on social change. Laws can change overnight, but cultural understanding takes time. If we want a world where everyone feels seen, valued, and protected, we must continue listening, learning, and challenging our own perspectives. The real question isn't just about definitions, it's about understanding. How do we build a society that protects rights, embraces inclusivity, and allows space for everyone to belong?